Good morning, how are you? Hope you're well. It's been a while, it's been about 2 weeks since an update on our property, so let's go over what's been happening. First up, new hat. Not that one there, it's not on my head so you won't see it. First I've got to get the hat. Gets windy up here, hence this thing. Apparently I'll learn to control the hat so it doesn't blow off in strong winds, but yeah, now I understand when people wear this sort of thing. I think I learned up here, the sun's brutal. I grew up in Cronulla, the beaches of South Sydney and Cronulla, and also up the north coast around Hathead. And I know what it's like to get sunburn out there, but up here, the sun is it's just the next level. Maybe because you're right closer to it, maybe the air's cleaner, I don't know. But first up, let's go for a drive. We don't have trail bikes. I wouldn't mind getting an electric trail bike soon though, because it is a bit of a property and get walking around it, even though it keeps me fit, I want to get places faster, so it's a long amount of time it is for now. Anyway, not quite sunny yet, so I'll take this off so you can see me better. Well, the last 3 weeks, not much has happened. Remember before we had form work was done, and that was pretty much it. Things have changed, but that's pretty much all that's changed really. No shed yet, still waiting on that. More delays, more delays, more delays. Well, some things have happened, some things haven't. This has happened. So last time the form work is done, now this is finalised. Things are set in stone, as they say. These are now all set in stone. Still some decisions to go on batteries though. Okay, so basically outline what's happening here. This flatbed here is going to be the garage, 49 square metres, double garage, skillion roof, facing due north to catch the most sun, windows and doors and stuff along that side there. Roller doors along this side. Here, storage area, but this is where the batteries will go. We haven't decided on the brand yet. Tesla, Powerwall 3s or the SIGENERGY system. These wires here are now obviously locked in place now, can't be changed. 2 of those head over there for power to the house and the workshops when they get built obviously. Power there. Coming across to here for the battery connections, and also this line here now runs over to under that block of wood there for the solar farm, which is going to go in there. The solar farm is going to be around about 20 to 30 kilowatts depending on pricing. We're hoping for 30 kilowatts, most likely 20, because the big change we've decided now, we're not going to be 100% off grid. Original plan was to go off grid. Well, that was based on the cost estimate of wiring, basically connecting to our grid. That was going to be around about $50,000 to $100,000 depending on who you talk to, which was, yeah, quite expensive. So we decided at that time to just go with just bigger batteries and bigger solar for that money. And that way we're completely off grid, totally independent, not a problem at all. Things have changed. Down in this corner of the property we have underground electricity. We have this little box right here between right in the middle of the fence between 2 paddocks. Pole right there. Original cost to run power from that box all the way up there to the house site was quite expensive. But we've got a quote from the electricity company. They've come back and said the cost to connect is going to be between $10,000 to $12,000. Good news, which means we can now afford that. It makes more financial sense to add the money into those grid connection than putting more solar and batteries. We're still going to have the large solar system, around 20 kilowatts. We're still going to have a lot of batteries. We're looking at about 30 kilowatts maybe, depending on what we can get out of the SIGENERGY system. So that's what we're leaning towards at the moment. But we also do have 48 kilowatt hours, I think Samsung rack-mounted batteries, which we've been collecting over the last few years of what we're living in Sydney. That's what I call a real lawn. Will a lawnmower get through that? It does. It hurts, but you can get through it. Have a hedge trimmer for that too, to cut it down first, then hit it with the lawnmower. That's quite the walk up there. It's exhausting. Remember, we are at 1,200 metres elevation here too, so oxygen, not so much in the air. So I'll take a seat right here on the edge, that's better. Okay, so the plan now is, we have a grid connection, great. That means daily charge, yes it does. Out here it's quite expensive, about $2 a day. Yeah, 700 and something dollars a year, we can handle that. Not too bad. But we also have access to OVO EV Owners Energy Plan out here. And the OVO Energy Plan means free energy between 11 AM and 2 PM. Now when you're living in Sydney, we're on the OVO plan, which meant we could charge the cars and we could charge our 2 power walls between that time, which we did every day. Meanwhile, at the same time, the solar's still charging, still running everything. So once the power walls or batteries were charged, they'd run all the way through the night, through the peak period of electricity cost, and all the way through to the next free period. So we never took energy from the grid that we had to pay for. So for $700, we basically have ourselves an on-grid backup. Because out here, we're still planning a massive solar system, and that's going to run everything. Of course, the batteries here, like I mentioned before, SIGENERGY or Tesla Powerwall 3s, haven't decided yet, leaning towards the SIGENERGY But there's one big thing with the SIGENERGY that we don't like. The inverters are rated to maximum 12 kilowatts, which is a bit low for our power needs. As we know with our power walls, you get 5 kilowatts each. We had 2 power walls, so that means we could draw 10 kilowatts out of the power walls. The solar's pumping in 5 to 6, so there's 16 kilowatts available to use right there. Plus whatever the grid needed to back up, make that difference up. The SIGENERGY, we're not sure about, because they say 12 kilowatts max draw. Well, even if you have 30 kilowatt hours of battery, the inverter's limited to 12 kilowatts. Now, is that 12 kilowatts the max we're going to get? Is that going to be supplemented by the solar? Because we are going to have, like I said, 20 to 30 kilowatts of solar out there. So that'll be pumping in, so another 10 kilowatts into the system. Plus the 12, that's 24 kilowatts. That's more than enough. But can it do it? That's the question. And that's the only deciding factor. If we can find that out and find out exactly how that works, which we plan to do today, we're going to go into town, then we're going to get the SIGENERGY system there, possibly even with a DC fast charger connected to it. If they can do us a deal, we don't know. But also, yes, like I said before, with the OVO connection to the grid, which means we can, even if you have like a week of snow, week of fog, week of cloud, because as I said, this place is called Cloudbase now. And the reason why is that's the Cloudbase. That's out west. When you're looking at west, it's clear skies. And because they're on the western side of the Blue Mountains, the highest point of the Blue Mountains is literally that mountain right there. That's 1,300 meters. So the weather comes here, hits the mountains, rises up, forms clouds right here. And we're very close to the base of the clouds, hence Cloudbase. So where was I? That's it, the shed. Here will be storage. Batteries will mount along this wall here. The SIGENERGY system, most likely, possible Tesla Powerwall 3s will mount here, pipe to there. This side here has been leveled, so it can take 2 water tanks, 2 slimline water tanks, 5,000 litres each, total 10,000 litres. They will go right here. They've been ordered. They're just waiting for the shed to get built. And so are we. Is this going to be a home until we get the house built? At the moment, we're living in a motorhome there, and all those tents, everything we're having now is in those tents at the moment. The iMove and the Tesla are acting as windbreaks. Motorhome isn't fun. Those things aren't built to last, they're not comfortable, and literally designed to break. That's a whole new story in itself. But yeah, 10,000 litres of water here. Obviously your water pump's going to sit there. The original plan was, or recommended to us, was to have a generator sitting here too as a final backup. Once we don't want to burn any fossil fuels to make electricity or energy, we weren't very happy with that idea, but we were recommended to get a generator. That was before we knew it was only going to cost, you know, $10,000 to connect that wire to the house. It's only single phase, which isn't too bad because it's 100 amps. So you can draw quite a lot of energy from that single phase down there in that transformer. Now the estimates we had originally was going to cost $50,000 to $100,000. That was because you needed to install a transformer. You had to pay for it. Transformer's already there. Single phase, albeit. Hence the cost is now only literally running a trench 150 meters from that green box in the ground at the end of the paddock to the block, or to the shed, house, or whatever. So that is far more financially palatable. So that's the plan now. We're going to go on grid with OVO, renewable energy still, free. We can charge batteries and everything else will be running off solar. And we're going to have our exports capped because you capped at 5 kilowatts exports by the energy companies because they don't want you cutting in on their cake, do they? They don't want you sending free energy to the grid and making money from it. It's their job to make money from your energy. So because our energy will be capped, we're not going to export any clean renewable energy to the grid, unfortunately. So we're going to have to pay that $700 connection charge every year. That's a cheap fix. It's far cheaper than paying for a generator to sit there and the fuel and everything else that might need, if it ever runs, and it's going to need maintenance, especially if it sits here and never gets used. You have to keep running it occasionally. So we think it's a small price to pay for having on-grid backup because we do have a lot of energy needs. We have electric lawnmowers, 2 electric cars down there, possibly an electric mini excavator coming soon. Don't know yet, still getting quotes on that. Plus shipping, everything else, because we're still going to build a lot of stuff. Speaking of building stuff, house. Yesterday, geotech engineers turned up yesterday and drilled a lot of holes around the place. We've got rock 2 meters down. From the 2 meters down to here, the surface, it's pretty much just silt and soft dirt, which is great. No rocks, just lay a rock 2 meters down. House is going to go on piers. So the house is going to go in this general area. As I'm speaking, the surveyor is up there somewhere, surveying up those paddocks up there. So he'll be down here soon to actually survey the actual location where the house is going to go. These stakes are just a rough estimate of where we want it because it's pointing due north, all that view. Due north for obvious reasons, maximum sun in winter, maximum sun in summer as well. West is that way, trees, so we're going to get setting sun over there. Not too bad. The solar system's going to be over that side, but yeah. We built this, we're going to try and get this house to get the most sun in winter, obviously reduce your heating energy needs and stuff like that. So with the geotech survey done, now they're going to place the pillars down and know what they can build on, what the piers need to be, that sort of thing. Also, they did the surveys for the septic system, which will be a worm farm septic system. We're currently talking to them as well, and with the geotech survey in the surveyor somewhere up there in those trees, he's going to figure out the exact final locations for the septic tank, the water tank, the house, and the workshop. So while the house will be in here, workshop will go somewhere in that area there. Water tank, I'm assuming somewhere down there, 100,000 litres. Septic system is going to go down here. Like I said, that's up to the surveyor and the geotech engineers will tell us the exact locations and the best place to put that sort of things. That's a big hole in the ground. The lawnmower fell in it when I was mowing this area here. You can't mow that stuff. That stuff's quite thick actually. You need the hedger to get through that. But yeah, we don't know what's living in there, so put the tougher grass there to see if it's active. Doesn't appear to be. Doesn't appear to be much in there. If there's anything in there, it's probably hibernating because we are getting close to winter now. Wait a minute. There's a rock. We don't have many of those. I'm in the dam. The dam. Had 13.9 millimetres of rain over the last week, I think we've had, which isn't much for this area, for what I've been told. Apparently the autumn rains haven't arrived because you're heading for drought. But we have got about 10 centimetres of water in the dam. We do have a weather station too. It is on Weather Underground, so I'll give you the link. I'll put the link below, so if you want to check the weather on this place any given moment in time, you can check that out with a link down there somewhere or wherever it's going to go. It's only about 5 to 10 centimetres deep at the moment. I wouldn't go swimming in it, that's for sure. You can get yabbies in there. There's frogs, I know that. And there's lots of blue-tongued lizards because when we're mowing, we scare a lot of blue-tongued lizards, pick them up, put them in here, and hopefully they're going to survive. And once I finish mowing, they'll go and find their homes and continue eating all the snails and slugs around the place, which is good. This is what I call the kangaroo back door. We have a trail cam there. Kangaroos, I've noticed, constantly going through here, going into the next paddock. That dam down there doesn't look very healthy. It's full of weeds, so it's going to take a lot of work to get that one. The black stump. We've got a lot of regrowth up there too, which is very good for stabilising the land. Could take in carbon emissions too, apparently. But yeah, that paddock is being left to be rewild, essentially. It's like, no maintenance done over there, just let it go, let nature do its thing over there. No wombat news. More blackberries. Damn it. Every time I've been chopping down these blackberries, actually yesterday, just walked around trying to find the new shoots, the new regrowth after I've mowed them all down to poison the new regrowth, just poisoning the regrowth only because we are legally obliged to keep blackberries under control on the rural property here because they are feral. I guess, the weeds go feral? I guess so. But they are an invasive species and must be destroyed. Not only that, they're basically nature's barbed wire and a pain in the legs, the arms, wherever you get spiked by the damn things. They're not fun. I remember riding a lawnmower up here for a reason. So you have to keep walking everywhere, different parts of the property to show you what's going on. I'm a doofus. That's better. Back on some wheels and a seat. Turn it on, push the button. 55% remaining. I didn't mow all that there yesterday. Hence it's going to need a recharge on the solar later. But yeah, let's go quick drive again. Where are we going now? Oh yeah, the house plan has been finalised. It's only going to be a 2-bedroom cabin at the moment because, well, we're trying to remain out of debt, especially with the economy going the way things are and all the uncertainty around the place. Trying to spend as little as possible, and there's only 2 of us. The original 4-bedroom plan has been cut down to a 2-bedroom plan of a similar design, but we're leaving the design so that another 2 bedrooms can be added onto it at a future date and things improve. Or if we want more guests later in the future, we can easily add on the 2 more bedrooms to make the house back to again, another 4-bedroom property. Because, yeah, cost essentially, and also being a modular factory built home, we can do that sort of things. Being a house design, yes, it is a modular home. Built in a factory, which means it reduced wastes and obviously reduced time in construction, saying 8 to 12 weeks. Business built in a factory, the staff are full-time staff. They go to work every day, they build a house, they go home. You're not waiting on weather delays, you're not waiting on other trades to do other things, because they're all in one spot. Because it's modular too, it's going to be timber framed, which is carbon capture, I guess. But also too, like I said before, less waste, because any offcuts they use that, they then use on the next house in the factory. So then you're not going to have a pile of rubbish sitting up there of offcuts, unused material. Because basically, being a factory built, set design, with our slight modifications, they're not having to buy in anywhere as much material, and it's better for the environment. Speaking of material, shed's still there, still hasn't been assembled, the slab's been poured, all the big delays have been overcome, and now the biggest delay is the shed being built. Unfortunately, that's delaying everything else. That's delaying installation of the water tanks, delaying installation of the solar, delaying installation of the batteries. It's delaying, well, pretty much everything. Everything is tied up in this shed because that is going to be a house. So that means we're tying up that motorhome too, because that's not ours. We borrowed that. We've got to get that back soon. So it's been a right pain in the butt not having that done yet. But that's the way it is. That's the way it goes. Not much you can do about that. And lastly, the driveway is holding up quite well with the packed mud and the road base. 30 mils of rain and it did fine. The wet grass gets a bit slippery. It's not compacting, it's not sinking, it's not collapsing under the weight of the vehicles and the motorhome driving over it. So that's all good. Anyway, I think that's about it for this update. It's been quite a while. Things are happening, things aren't happening. So thanks for following along. I hope you got this far. I hope you're well. I look forward to seeing you again in the next video. So take care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye.